What's up, everybody? You are watching two beautiful mermaids, but also the channel of Luminous Nova with a special mermaid stream.
Hi, Nova!
Yeah, it's me! I'm already half a mermaid. I still have legs though. I still have mermaid legs. Yeah. Oh my god, guys, the mermaid stream is here. How we did it! Look at this beautiful pool. Oh my god, it's gorgeous. Yeah, welcome in everybody. We're going to start with a couple interviews. As you can see, we're going to start with interviewing the beautiful mermaids over here. Then we're going to interview two underwater photographers, and we also have an interview with the makeup artist that did my makeup today. We already have one question, but we're going to go to the questions of the audience at the end of the stream. So for all my moderators, keep it there. And then, yeah, we're going to start with the first question. Lisa, how did you get into mermaiding?
Okay, so this is actually one of my favorite stories because I had a dream, yes, about mermaiding, and it was just so nice. And when I woke up, this sentence was vibrating in my head for days, and it was the sentence "swimming with mermaids, swimming with mermaids." And then after 3 days of just repeating this, a friend of mine, he came up to me and he looked at me, he's like, you know what you would like? Mermaiding. I was like, what is mermaiding? He's like, yeah, I have a friend and she swims with a mermaid tail. And yeah, my mind just blew because I had no idea this was possible. And when I heard this, I contacted his friend and I took a class from her, and 4 years later, here we are. This is meant to be.
Yay! So awesome. Super awesome. Yeah, and then next to Lisa here, we got Didi.
Hello.
Who also has a mermaid name called Mermaid Liara.
Yes, exactly.
Pronounce it right?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So, how would you like to be called? Mermaid Liara or Didi?
I prefer Mermaid Liara.
Mermaid Liara. Then
Yes.
I will refer to you as this for the stream.
Thank
So-
you.
It's Mermaid Liara.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. So how did you get into mermaiding?
Well, I've always really liked swimming and snorkeling, but also fantasy. And then in my hometown, school opened for adults who wanted to become mermaids. And I'd never heard of it before, but as soon as I saw it, I fell in love, and my mind blew like yours. I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome, and it was the perfect combination of my love for swimming and fantasy. Yeah, so here we are.
Yay! Oh, cool. So, yeah, this is also a question that I was wondering about. Like, we're in a pool right now, but this is a private pool. But where do you learn it? Where do you go? Can you go to the beach and just like do it there, or also in a public?
Well, it depends a little bit. There's actually a quite handy map that you can find in the Mermaids Netherlands Facebook group, where they have all the pools in Holland and Belgium mapped out with either a red or a green dot where it is allowed or not. Because not every pool allows it, but some do. Usually the pools that are public pools, they don't allow it because they have this idea that it can be dangerous somehow, or you go too fast and you bother the other people. And but most pools they find it very fun, and all the kids love it, and they are very welcoming. So yeah, check out this map, and if you don't live in Holland or Belgium, you can call the pool near you and ask them if they allow flippers and mermaid tails, and yeah, then you know.
Okay, nice. All right, well, that's some good information. And now I also know that both of these mermaids also do this professionally as well. So, yeah, Mermaid Liara, what kind of a profession can you make out of, like, what do you do as a mermaid, as a professional mermaid?
I call myself a professional mermaid and underwater acrobat, and you can hire me for festivals, aquarium shows, but also dry shows. Once I performed at a festival, and the festival rents like a mobile dive tank. It's the size of a small truck and it has windows, so it's like a huge aquarium. And I performed in that, and it was really awesome.
Okay, so what you're saying is you can either rent a tank, have a mermaid swim in there, or you can do workshops.
Yeah, I also do
Dry,
workshops,
yeah.
and I do dry acts. For example, I do an act with my aerial moon, or flow props, which is 11 months, while I'm in tail.
also a flow artist, everybody.
Yes.
And then a mermaid flow artist. So then you just perform in your tail and you do, wow. So you just, oh wow, cool. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. How about you, Lisa?
Well, I once did a really fun show, which was the opening of the new hotel, and I got to introduce the pool. So they put me in the pool, and the guests for the opening, they would come by, they would walk by, and I would just swim around and then show them how enjoyable it is and take some photos with them, and that was really fun. So yeah, if you have a pool or if you have an event by the sea or by a lake, definitely hire a mermaid because people are just mesmerized by how it looks. And
Yeah.
such a nice, unexpected add-on.
Yeah, people are going to be so surprised. What? Is that a mermaid?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Now, if there are people that are thinking, I want mermaids, then what do you have to look for when you buy a tail, or like what do you need to get?
So like with all equipment, you have beginner mermaid tails and you have more advanced mermaid tails. So if you start, I would really recommend to buy a mermaid tail with a smaller fluke. The fluke is the end part, the flipper, so to
So
say.
this part here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So a smaller one, a lighter one, it makes you more agile underwater. You can go a bit
Yes,
faster. You can adjust a bit more. And then as you get better with the swimming move, which is called the dolphin kick, it's actually a different type of swimming that you do than you would do with 2 legs.
Yes.
Yeah, if you get better at mermaiding, you can buy more elaborate mermaid tails with bigger flukes, with more advanced monofin inside of it. It will go a little bit slower, you will be a little bit less agile, but it will also save more energy. So you can actually go faster, longer, and for mermaiding, as you know, saving energy is super important because the more energy you save, the longer you can stay underwater on one single breath hold. So as you progress, you want to get a bigger tail and have more surface that you can flip with. I think a very important thing to say right now is don't buy mermaid tails from AliExpress.
Listen to her.
Because they are dangerous.
They're so dangerous.
They're cheap, but they're not suitable for swimming, and you don't want to get in trouble with this. You want to buy it from like an actual website that makes their own mermaid tails.
Yes.
I have another question. Yeah. Okay. We were supposed to do like a photo shoot today. Now we're going to do more of a video shoot. We're going to play a nice playlist later in the evening, and we're going to swim around so that you guys can see a live feed of the mermaids. But in a photo shoot or a video shoot, what would be advice? What do you have to know to do a shoot?
Well, I definitely recommend getting a freedive certification. This will help you get deep enough without hurting your ears, and it will also help with your breath hold. Getting my freediving license really helped me increase my breath hold, so I definitely recommend that. I also recommend getting a lot of practice with your tail or your dress. You can also wear a dress for an underwater photo shoot, especially if it's a dress. Make sure it's a dress you can move it well underwater. For example, a short dress, because all the fabric gets really heavy and it's incredibly hard to swim, and that can be very dangerous. So yeah, make sure that you're safe. That's the most important.
Yeah, I feel like that's the first thing you need to know. Safety first, everybody. Now, when I was trying out outfits yesterday with you, I also noticed the little leg pieces that you had. Yeah. And those were also for a photo shoot, right?
Yeah, typically I don't wear lead when I just go mermaiding for fun. But some people do. When they are very buoyant, they might wear like a lead belt or some lead weights around the ankles to help keep you down a little bit. Because also the tails, they are, not these, but most of them are plastic, they float a lot. Also if you take a big breath of air, you float up a bit, so the lead helps you keep down, helps to keep you down. So when I just recreationally mermaid, I don't use lead, but for photo shoots, definitely it is such a help, because you want to take a very big breath of air, you want to stay under a long time to arrange your pose, to arrange your outfit and everything. And if you don't have lead, you will just bobble up to the top right away. And
Yes.
that doesn't work out. So
Yeah, this is what I was wondering about because, yeah, when you swim, you have enough power to kind of like put yourself down, but in a tail, are there any ways to like keep yourself in place, certain movements or?
yeah,
Well, I use my hands to like
this
create a
motion.
flow in the water.
Okay.
And when I'm in the perfect position, I do my pose. And then I hope that the photographer clicked the button.
Yeah.
Do it now, Willie, do it now.
guys, a certain synergy of working together.
Yeah, exactly.
I also feel a nice one is when I notice I'm starting to go up to the surface. I do this pose where I grab a big surface and then make something out of this while I go down and then go up and then pull my arms in again and then you stay under a little bit as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Cool. So now, I mean, we all think this is amazing and blow our minds that we can be mermaids. But like, what is it about mermaiding that makes it super fun?
Yeah, for me, it's really the swimming together with other mermaids. It is indescribable. Do you know when you see birds, a flock of birds flying through the air, and they all follow each other a little bit, or they dive underneath it, or one of them decides to take another turn and they all follow? It feels a little bit like that. If you swim with a group, you go underneath each other, you pass each other a little bit. You really feel almost part of one organism, one pod. And that's just so enjoyable. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Nice. And for you?
I agree with Lisa. It's the mermaid community and swimming together is really amazing and creating things together, such as photo shoots and videos on the water. That's really amazing. I also like how it's the perfect combination between aesthetics. I mean, it's beautiful, and sports. It's a lot of exercise.
Yeah.
And creativity. I mean, you can make your own shell bra. I made this myself.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it's just I'm getting so much out of it. I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yes, and swimming with the tail, it feels like freedom, and you go much faster with the tail than without.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you do.
okay.
So it's really awesome to do.
Yeah. Let's go over to the questions of the audience. And then the first question is, do male mermaids exist?
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely. We have a couple of merman friends.
Yeah.
Mermen.
They're
They're called mermen.
Yeah, merman.
They're in the mermaid group as well, the chat group, and
Yes.
yeah, of course they don't have pink and glitter tails. They have a bit more masculine tails.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's not just about being a pretty mermaid. It's just really fun to do. It's really a nice experience. It's a great way to connect. If you like swimming, fast and feeling free like a dolphin.
Yes.
Men definitely love it once they put on a motivator in the tail.
And as a merman, you can have like masculine accessories such as a trident.
Oh,
There's
armor.
Armor.
Yeah, there's some
Okay.
really awesome Instagram account of mermen, and they look really good.
Yeah, they look
Okay. Everyone's gonna do like #merman.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, nice. So, Lisa Liara,
Yes.
what was the best or most beautiful location you've done mermaiding?
I can answer that. The Red Sea of Egypt.
Oh wow.
Yes, I went to Egypt a few years ago and I brought this tail and I swam in the Red Sea on the coral reefs and the fish and the turtles. And it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life.
Wow. Nice. What was the most beautiful location you have been?
For me, it was the Galapagos Islands. I went there 3 years ago, and I brought a more travel size tail because I didn't have a big.
This is quite the.
This is heavy. I can barely carry it myself.
There's waving to you.
No, I had this amazing experience at the Galapagos. I was swimming in my mermaid tail, and this turtle came really close to me, and I think he was like, "What kind of fish?" And he came up to me, and I was like, "A turtle!" And we had a small interaction, and then he went off again. But that was a moment I really felt part of the sea, a part of life, and it
So amazing.
Wow. Actually got it on camera. It's just like,
Oh my
Wow.
god.
yeah, nice. With the diving glasses, so but
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well still.
yeah, it was amazing.
Nice. In which shop can you buy mermaid tail? So we just said that don't buy a tail from AliExpress, but like where do you go?
For example, Finfolk Productions in America is very well known. Other good choices are Mermaider, also in America. And in Europe, we've got Magic Tail. I really like Magic Tail. And it's Mermaid's Cut Shop. And maybe you have one or two to add?
Yeah, for beginner mermaid tails, I definitely recommend FinFun. They produce super good, affordable mono fins. You have an incredible amount of choices for skins, we call them. The fabric you can put over it. And they're very, very affordable for your first tail and are good quality. Yes, yeah.
So what is affordable? Like what does it cost? Where do you start?
A beginner's tail, including monofin, I think $150 to $220.
Yeah, because then you will have some fabric,
Yes.
and then the monofin is the part that's hidden in here.
Yes.
That has like the little extra flaps that
Yeah.
really make
Yes.
it good for swimming.
That's the
Yes.
flipper. Yeah.
The flipper,
You
yeah.
can use the flipper without the tail as well.
Yeah.
But not the tail without the flipper.
That
just
sounds
fabric.
Yes.
Yes.
And then this one, you told me that it has it built in it.
Yeah. I cannot take the monofin out, so
Yeah.
it's in there, but it's made to my size and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
this was all like custom made.
Yeah.
It's like
This
a
is
whole.
a little bit as expensive as they come.
Yeah, this is like the pro model.
is-
You
yeah.
know, like we got two
Yeah.
pro models
Yeah.
here. This is like very, very
Really
like
next
wow.
level.
Very
Yeah.
expensive.
But the ones that we're gonna use later on, like for the practice part, we're gonna use a magic tail and a fin tail. And then for the performance part, we're gonna use fin tails. And those are a little bit next step, and those would be around 375, 400 euros.
Yes.
Without the monofin.
Yes.
So the monofin that goes inside there, if you want a good one, it would also be like 100 or
Yeah.
150.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit steep, but it's worth it.
It's
just
so
worth it.
Yes. I mean, we're also kind of used to flow arts, which has kind of like the same like
Price level,
if you want to
yeah.
go like LED cool stuff, then it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
okay.
basically an LED hoop. A good
Yeah,
tail is like
Yeah.
an LED.
Yeah. Exactly.
I like it that you both also have like a different thing going on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like showing like
Different
different taste, different
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
You have a beautiful hairpiece as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's also what you mentioned already. A really good
No.
part of this community is the creative part.
Yeah.
So we call it also a like a persona, but everybody has a little bit, the style of their tail, or maybe even a background story. And we often get together and create little headpieces ourselves or little accessories ourselves. So it's really nice to get your whole persona together and make like the whole story fitting.
Yeah, I see the photographers coming in as well.
Yes.
I kind of want to do a little bit of a close-up of you both.
Yay! Thank you so much for all the questions. Is there anything left that you want to say to upcoming mermaids or just in general to the stream?
Anyone can be a mermaid.
Yes, you can be whatever you want.
Yes.
Yay. Oh yeah, if you want to find people near you that mermaid, because it is good when you learn it to have a buddy.
Yes.
Actually, always have a buddy when you
Yes.
first start to learn it. Go online, go on Facebook, find mermaid groups in your country, and just ask the people near you do this hobby.
Yes.
Get together and they can show you how it is. The community is lovely and it's so nice to be a part of. So, yeah.
Yay!
I'm excited for you all to join us.
Ah, cool. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to turn the camera the other way around so that you guys can just like magically disappear.
Transform.
Yeah, transform. All right. There we have it. All the equipment. We got lights, or this is the camera actually. Oh my god, damn, okay. I'm just gonna get a bit of a close up there. This is the camera. We got wetsuits on for warmth, I would presume. All right. Now, welcome.
Yes.
We got the two photographers of today. We got Fear and we got Arjan. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Yay! So awesome. So first things first, how did you get into underwater photography?
I'm swimming instructor at basics, and I started underwater diving. Then I go underwater diving, photography, and I build it up.
Okay, so you started as a diver,
Yeah.
then into photography,
Yeah.
and then how long have you been doing mermaid photography?
It's now since Corona. We
Since
started
the,
it.
since the Corona
Yeah.
times, people have
Yeah.
put some more life into this hobby. You mentioned it before, where in the water you can't infect each other, so you can actually do a lot more activities. So that was fun to hear.
Yes, yes.
And yeah, you feel it. How did you get into it?
I'm doing photography already for a few years. Then I rolled in a little bit into model photography, and since I'm also a diver for my profession, at a certain moment the both came together. So I started. I once saw a picture of a model in a suit on an airplane rack. It was such a nice shot. I said, like, love to do that once in water photography.
Oh wow.
And there it came from.
Yeah, nice. I also saw the photo of the underwater wreckage that was in the flyer.
Yeah.
Was that like what you did with it?
With the diver with the helmet?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it was actually one of the ideas, especially because I always wanted to do. It's very artistic. I'd like to do it in an artistic way. And the idea with the technical diver, with the very high-tech equipment, is in danger because there's mermaids, like the creatures,
Yeah.
and the sailor tails. So it was just an artistic idea. That was the pictures I wanted to take. So just not take whatever pictures. No, I really had most of the time I had an idea what I wanted.
Okay, yeah. So you come up with a concept and then you really go to shoot that.
And then you have to bring the whole team, all the technical equipment, everybody together. So it's a whole. It's a
Whole
whole-
production.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
It's fun to do.
Yeah. And how long have you been shooting mermaids?
Mermaids
specifically?
now, half a year.
Half a year.
Half a
6
year,
months?
a year, yes,
Whoa.
about a year. I started actually a year ago with underwater photography. But
Okay.
I did a lot of shoots since then, I think. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So now, everyone is saying that your equipment looks like steampunk and like very impressive. So like, what exactly do you need for underwater photography?
You need at first a really good camera.
Yeah. So the camera inside it.
Is built inside of the housing,
Okay.
and it's a special house. You got different lenses you can put on. You can
Okay.
switch them in between. I made for almost 15 years underwater photos of animals and everything what lives underwater. And then there are lenses for close-up, there are lenses to widen view. So there are many kind of lenses to use for underwater photography. And then you got flashing lights,
Oh, the
so you
flash.
can
Yeah. Okay.
highlight your subject, and you got additional lights to.
This is also a light.
This is also a light.
So this is a light.
Yeah, this
this
is
is
this
a
is
light.
light, and this is a light
Yeah,
overall.
it's like a.
Just
Okay.
focus light.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And you have a different model. I see. It looks even more like.
It's a little bit bigger model. Also, the camera inside is bigger, and I got my lights separated. So my lights are not on the housing, but I put my lights separated from the camera because they're farther away. It's like I do mostly model shoots, so it's like shoots with models in the studio, but then the studio is on the water. So there also the lights are separated from the camera. And I got 2 big lights also in the swimming pool. It's just big studio lights. So the concept is a little bit different. It's like studio thinking and not on the water swimming around. I'm more static shooting.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. You have like a mobile version where you can swim around and take photos of like all the beauty of underwater. I mean, there's so much to see. And then you have like a real like studio setup, especially for like modeling.
That's true.
Nice. Okay. I do see a question here already. I'm gonna add it right away because there's someone who's asking, how do you get the color right? Is the white light balance of the camera sufficient?
The white balance is sufficient. Mostly I put it on automatic because afterwards I always take my pictures in RAW, so afterwards you can also always adapt it on the computer. And the most difficult part on the water is the disappearing of colors. As soon as you go underwater, colors start to disappear, and red is the first one.
Red, okay, so red underwater is just kind of like...
It's the first one to, as deeper you go, as more colors disappear.
Oh,
As soon as you go underwater, the red is the first color to disappear, then you got orange, yellow, that goes down. So as soon as you go underwater, even half a meter, you look pale.
Oh, you look pale?
You look pale, like you're like really, so you have to add red light as soon as you go underwater almost. The first thing you add is some warmed orange or red light.
Yes. Yeah, and then I also heard something earlier in the discussions before the stream. I heard that there was a fish lens because underwater there is less light. So do you always need a fish lens, or is that just like a choice?
That's a kind of choice.
Yeah.
When you got the fish light, then you got more surrounding lights, and yeah, you can choose whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you have also a broader view.
You can
because
see more.
underwater things are a little get out of perspective, and you got a broader view and you catch more light. Yes.
Yeah. So for studio photography, will you do that? Because when models come closer, they might like warp their hands. They will be super big or something.
And also it's about the focus. You got to want everything sharp, so you need a lot of light and a lens that's a lot of sharp and in depth, so you get everything sharp. Otherwise, like you say, if they stretch their hand, maybe you got only their hand in focus and not their face, and you want like mostly, of course, the most important is the eyes, face. But if it's possible, you want everything sharp.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, just a question. If you want to get into underwater photography, like where do you go? What do you need? Yeah.
Good diving skills first.
Good diving skills.
Because
this is something the mermaids brought up as well. They were like, safety first. Diving is really important.
You have to be, you have to feel easy on the water first of all, because you're on the water, but then you have to take care of all your technical equipment. Then you have to know some basics of photography, about shutter speed, about ISO, about that also, and then you have to combine them together. So it's a little bit of technical subject, but you have to master get the basics first.
Yeah. And then camera-wise, is there like what price range do I have to think for an underwater camera? I know that the GoPro exists, but like.
You start with the GoPro, then this is a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
And it gives way more possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the GoPro is like, am I having fun with it? And then if I do, you save up for a big one like this.
Yeah. You got the camera and you need to calculate approximately around 2.5 times for the housing, only the housing additional.
You pay 2.5 times what the camera costs for the housing. So first the camera, then you're not there yet. Well.
And then additional the lightings, the cables and everything, all the accessories.
Yeah, that's all add-ons.
It's very expensive.
Very expensive. Yeah, so it's pretty much a commitment to do this.
Yeah.
But you get to photograph everything underwater, so it's also very unique. It's very cool. I see a question here. How tricky are blue tails or other objects to photograph underwater? Don't they easily fall back into backgrounds?
Blue tails, yes, because of course, if you see the blue water here, if you get with the blue tail, it will be, of course, blending in a little bit with the background. So sometimes we bring in backgrounds also. Sometimes have a black backdrop, especially to take pictures of models in, like we say, green or bluish outfit.
Yeah.
So yes, we have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, so it is a point to take into consideration to get a good photo. Alright, cool. And then we have another question of the mermaids that I found pretty interesting because they were asking in the chat, like, what was the most beautiful location that you shot? Like, for you, that's a good question, but for you, it's maybe more.
But because you're working with models, what's very, very important is the water temperature. You can't go like outside, especially not in Belgium, in the Netherlands here. If you go outside water, it's often too cold.
It's too cold here in the Netherlands, people. It
outside.
is. Yeah.
And this pool is really nice, warm water. That's really important. The background is important. You want a natural or another background. So here it's just blue background over black background. So I only shoot in swimming pools, in wellness, in spas. So.
Yeah. And how about you? Have you shot?
The most beautiful spot I shot is a few years ago in the Philippines.
Philippines?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's really a really nice spot to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, so do you also go on excursions just for the photography there, just to see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
just
plan
take
to
trips?
go next year. We organized a trip to go to take pictures there.
Oh, cool. A little more of a silly question. Have the photographers tried mermaiding themselves?
Yes, I did.
Yes!
I did here.
Yes, as well. Yay! And so is it something that you also want to continue?
Not on a regular basis, but to teach and to do, it's fun to do.
Okay.
I think it was interesting to put a mermaid tail once on because that thing weighs like 12 to 14 kilos. And they also, often as a photographer, you ask like, can you do this, and they say like, hey, it's not always that easy. Why do you try it yourself? So they put me in the mermaid tail even with the wig on. So
Oh,
and
you
took
put the wig
yeah,
on,
they took
nice.
pictures of me with my camera.
Oh.
So there are pictures of it. Actually on my Instagram there are pictures of it.
Yeah.
So yes, and it's interesting to see, okay, what are the possibilities and the limitations, what it is to be a mermaid, swimming around with it. And it's the same with when you take pictures of also in fashion dresses. I did it once with a fur coat shoot, with a real fur coat with sunglasses on it. So yeah, it's not easy. It's you have to wander, you have to start floating, so you have to keep things straight. So yeah, sometimes it's interesting to take the other side once to see, okay, this is too difficult, or maybe this is a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I think it's really good to switch roles a little bit so that you can really see how to help someone as well. I imagine with posing underwater, we just talked a little bit about it with the mermaids. Posing underwater is like a skill as well. You know, like you can swim, but then posing, you have to stay still and you're in the water, so you have to use all your muscles like differently because instead of gravity pulling you down, you actually have like the oxygen like pulling you up. So you have to do vice versa. You know, it's like opposites. So I can imagine getting a tail on would be very like.
And one of the difficulties is also the camera underwater. In the studio, you just can shoot very high speed. You can just take a lot of pictures very fast. Underwater it doesn't work like that. The camera has to first focus, and then it says, yeah, now you can take pictures. And sometimes it takes every time a second to take a picture. And then also the models don't always see you because they don't have like goggles on them. So they know you're there somewhere.
You're like a blob over
They
there.
try to pose, and you have to try to catch that moment, and the moment you trigger, it always takes that picture a little bit after the moment. So often you miss it also. You have to start to get a feeling of when to take the picture, when to trigger the camera.
So you're saying it's pretty intuitive as well?
Yeah, a little bit, yes.
Okay.
So you have a good shoot, and then you say, okay, I'm going to take a picture now, and then you have the shot just the moment after that, actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got it when they just go to the surface, and the moment before the surface they have to the mirroring.
Yeah.
And often in the beginning I missed it because you take the picture and it takes a moment and you're already out of the water.
Oh, so you have to realize that timing.
Then you learn it like, okay, I have to take it just before I want to take a picture.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, you can use the mirroring of the surface.
It's fun.
Yeah, cool.
Really nice one.
Yeah, I was also wondering about like the lighting that you use. Do you also work with different like colors? You were saying that you have to add the red lights. So do you always bring the red lights?
In you don't have to, but it works because afterwards it's too difficult to get that color back in the picture, and especially on the face it will look like that. So I always have one filling red light to give that extra red light, then have a headlight to give the most of the light, and now I work with two big lights out of the water. Speed lights, just big studio lights, not made for water, so it's a little bit tricky thing. And I also sometimes just add color filters to give some nice artistic
with a nice effect.
effect.
Yeah.
Or things on the surface like a net or something where the light goes through that filters it, gives like beams. You can go all the way, you can put the light after the backside of the model also, they get like a flash, like the hair that's floating around, it gives like a nice aurora. So there's so many possibilities, it's endless.
Cool. So there was also a question from the chat. Do you also record like videos, or do you mainly take photos?
At the underwater, at diving, I also take videos. Yes.
Yeah. But is it also like a specialty? Do you see yourself as a photographer and a videographer 50-50? Or is it more
Yeah, I do 50-50.
50-50?
For me it's photography.
Photography?
I often put like a GoPro on it,
Oh yeah?
just to film the whole the scene. And I always, what's very important is also the backstage. Sometimes I picture people like a nice picture, like the picture you talked about with the diver with the helmet.
Oh yeah.
The technical diver. But it's sometimes almost more interesting the story of how do you make such kind of picture. The picture is nice, but like the whole making of it's amazing sometimes. Sometimes it's a more amazing story than in the picture itself.
Yeah.
So it's very important. I'll always ask people to make backstages.
And do you have those videos online? Are they on your Instagram? Or?
Got some. The most are on my on the website.
Yeah.
And I got some on my Instagram also, making off, especially for the helmet diver. There's a nice one online. So.
Okay. Yeah, so the Instagram of Philip is lemurvision_models, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Is the sun important for an outdoor shot, or are you relying on your lights?
The outdoor shots, the sun really means a lot. Also the lights.
Yeah, the way it hits.
The way it hits water, the beam from the sun, it can really make your picture.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And also with a good sunlight, you got much surrounding lights, so you can take a nicer picture without using so much flashlight.
Yeah. And do you still bring on additional lights, or do you just work with the sunlight then?
If you got a good sun, you don't need so much flashing light.
Maybe just a little bit to highlight the face or something, or like the.
It depends your subject. If you're working with models, you don't want harsh shadows on the face.
Yeah.
And if the sunlight from one side, sometimes you have to add some extra lights to light up those dark spots. So because I always work with makeup artists. For me, for modeling, it's no shoot. If there's no makeup, there's no shoot for me. So
that's why we brought in a makeup artist for me as well today.
So and then I especially I put a lot of pictures about the makeup also. It's very important that it's very
it's very much like
makes the picture.
Yeah, it's completing the picture, because like as a model you also just want to be comfortable, and it's already super hard to keep your face straight and your eyes open and everything. So I feel like beautiful makeup will really make you feel more comfortable, more at ease, like okay, I'm pretty and I'm feeling it, you know? So
You do it in the studio, so why don't you do it in the water studios? It's the same story. So
same
for me
story.
Of course.
Yeah. Do reflective elements add more complexity to the photo shoots?
Reflecting elements like
I don't know, we saw Mermaid Liara in like a silver reflective tail. Is it more complex to photograph it?
it's interesting.
It's interesting.
It's fun, I think.
Yeah?
It could be really interesting, I made once a nice shoot with like also the other like a crown in it, and there was shining spots on it. Yeah, it gives like nice effects. Yes.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like make it harder to get a good photo.
Not so much.
No. Okay. So we can just wear holographic
Yeah.
outfits and everything. It's all good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I once brought a mirror also, like a mirror on the water, or she was holding a mirror, so it reflects like crazy, but it gives really nice effects. It's amazing.
Yeah. Nice. Is there anything you want to say to maybe new underwater photographers, or anything you just like want to add?
Just take your camera and go for it.
Yeah. Just try. Just go.
Try and make hundreds of photos. There are not perfect, and there is always one that's going to give you a good result.
Yeah. Yeah. So keep going. Don't worry about it. You just have enough memory.
You learn from your mistakes, not
Yeah.
from when everything goes well. You don't learn things. You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything you want to add?
Just there's no limit. Just
Yeah.
go crazy.
I can't even open my eyes underwater. Yeah, I'm gonna go underwater soon, everybody. So I'm quite nervous,
And-
but yeah.
And practice holding your breath. On the
Practice holding your breath. Good one. Yeah,
water. Very important
for sure.
to be able to hold your breath for a while.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time
Welcome.
and all your knowledge. It was very cool. A lot of questions. So nice. And I'll see you guys later for the shoot.
We go back to the water.
Yeah, back in the water, yeah. Now we have our final guest of today, who's already here. This is Sarah. She's actually the one who did my makeup today. She's a makeup artist, and yeah, we'll have her for a little bit. So just a quick question, like how did you get into underwater like makeup?
I've been a makeup artist for a long time, and then Philip of Level Vision, who you saw before, he booked me for doing his first underwater shoot. It was his first time, it was my first time, so it was really like trying out, and it really worked out well. We needed to search a little bit, obviously, for the products. I need to find out this color works well, this doesn't stay well, and I was searching a little bit. But 1 year later, we're doing a lot of underwater shoots, and it becomes a specialty.
Yeah. So how long have you been a makeup artist? Did you do a study for it?
Yeah, I finished in 2008 my general school, but I did other courses as well. And for a year now, I do it as a full-time job.
As a full-time job? Hey, cool. So yeah, we just heard as well about those colors, red underwater, get some really faint. What is like the best color to use? Like what is the best color to use underwater? What just pops?
Brilliant colors, and it's really weird, but gold works really beautiful in the water.
Gold.
So I tried with gold pigments, and it really turns out not too intense, because sometimes I try to work with intense colors to have a good contrast, but then it's like too hard. So it needs also be a little bit soft sometimes, and if you add some gold, it always works pretty well in the water.
Okay, cool. And is there also like special makeup that you have to get for underwater?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You need to use products with a lot of pigmentation.
Okay.
So also products who are waterproof. So if you're going to use eyeliner or mascara, it doesn't work if it's not waterproof.
Yeah.
But a lot of mascaras that say that are waterproof, it's not.
They're actually not. Oh. That's tough. So then you really gotta know your brands in that case. After the makeup, there's also a fixing spray. Like you still have to do my fixing spray as well.
Don't go in the water.
Yeah. I'm gonna go in the water soon. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Are there any questions from the chat for specialized on makeup underwater?
Someone asked about red colors.
Oh, I think that this one is not loading anymore.
Right. Do you emphasize the red colors, since photographers say that the red colors disappear first?
Yeah, so do you emphasize the red colors?
It depends. if you use a red lipstick, it still works on the water. But if you use a red eyeshadow that doesn't have a lot of pigmentation, it really disappears a lot. If you see the bottle water and then you see the picture of underwater, it's big difference. Yeah, so you need a lot of pigmentation and then it works, but it depends also on the lighting of the camera guy or the photographer. So it's also a little bit because of the lighting. Yeah.
What is one of the unexpected things you found with underwater makeup, how it works?
Okay, so what is one of the unexpected things you found?
That you can use the same techniques, the same products on different people, and on some people it stays so well that they can still go in the water the next day with it, and with some people it really disappears quickly and you really need to retouch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it also depends, I think, about your skin and the greasiness of your skin, and if you sweat quickly or not.
Do you sweat underwater?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is
I don't think so, but if you are doing the makeup in a more hot or humid atmosphere, the skin can push away the makeup while putting it on. So try to put on the makeup in a place that's not too moisture, and also where there's some air floating. Because if you have a model who has a lot of quickly sweat, then it can push away already the makeup from underneath.
Yeah. Okay. There's also someone asked, did you have a makeup fail underwater?
Yeah, in the beginning, the mascara. The mascara.
Oh, the mascaras.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So they
In
have
the
like
beginning,
black eyes.
yeah, it's like panda, and then you need to all take it away, and you need to retouch. So
Yeah, wow.
I thought, okay, I have a waterproof mascara, but
No. Okay.
it wasn't no good.
So what's the brand for? What's the right mascara?
I use most of the time the one of the Belgian brand Couleur de Nuage. It's Les Couleurs de Nuage.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
French.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a kind of vegan and a healthy brand, makeup brand, and it works really well. And lately I also discovered one of the mascaras of MAC who stays pretty well, and it's, I don't know the name pretty well, it's the blue one.
It's the blue one. The blue one from MAC. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Cool. All right. Well, that was it for me today. Thank you so much for joining in. Okay. So let's do the fixing.
Yeah, I wanted to tell them about the water.
Okay. So let's do that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, no problem.
All right, everybody. We're gonna fix my makeup and then we're gonna go into the water. I'm very excited. I'm a little bit chilly now, so I'm ready to get to action.
Get moving. Do you want to rope? This will be the practice deal.
Oh, we got a practice deal going
As
on.
you can see, the fluke is a lot smaller than the more advanced mermaid tails. And it's basically just this flipper, this monofin, inside a pretty skin. So this is the same monofin inside of it. And
Nice.
our dear Nova is going to be wearing this one for her very first mermaid debut.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
And then for the performance, we're gonna give her a more advanced mermaid tail, this one, and that will be more, that will be bigger, prettier, and flowier.
Yeah.
So it's not as difficult as flow arts. Like with mermaiding, you can excel to a more difficult tail pretty quickly. If you are into movement art, if you are a good swimmer, you can really easily learn it very quickly. So that's why we feel safe to give you a bigger tail for the second part.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to breathe in.
Yeah, breathe in and you do like this, and then I'm going to spray. Okay. Yes. a pile of mist and you can breathe. And then I'm going to do a little bit of hairspray here on the back because it's the water is kind of skin. So I think it will be better to use a hairspray so it will stay better.
Okay. Kan het wel eens een druppel water. Deze moet eigenlijk ook even het scherm te doen.
Alright.
Alright. 101. Putting on the mermaid.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready? Is the camera?
The camera is set.
Yeah,
Okay.
So you put your feet in here. It's gonna be really tight, but don't worry about it. It's sturdy. Just pull it on, and yeah, it's gonna be really tight. There you go. So, yeah, and then you pull it up like a leggings. And now you gotta lie on your back and get it over your bum. This is the charming part. And transformation complete.
Ta-da!
Awesome. So before we get into the water, emergency way to get out of your tail. If for some reason you get into a panic or you just wanna, you get stuck on the bottom, you really hard put one leg towards your up, and then you are released from your monofin, and then you can kick out the, you just kick out the legging or pull it down. When we go into the water, you can just stand in your tail. So for practicing for the first time, always go in shallow water where you can stand up. Because then you can always, if it doesn't work out, you can just stand up and it's safe. But when you stand on your tail, you don't want to shuffle around because this is fabric and it can tear a bit on the bottom of the pool. So when we move while standing up, we hop. We hop so that we save the fabric of the tail. And now you're ready to go into the water. Let's get going. And first you're just going to stand up and see how it feels for you.
Nice warm water.
Yeah, it's really nice. Huh? Oh, there you go. Okay. So, first thing, you can grab the side and then try get a bit horizontal, and then you can start to practice this upward moving. So you move the fin up, you move it down. Yeah, and you begin to so while everything just goes slow motion underwater. And then you can practice this pushing the water down, pushing the water up, down, pushing up. And this is the technique of swimming with the mermaid tail, and it's called the dolphin kick. So you basically push the water down with your flipper and push it up. So the whole movement of the swimming with the mermaid kick, I'm not sure if you can see it really well on the camera. Oh, actually, I need my goggles for you so you can look underwater. Here we go. So you can look underwater and you can watch the movement that I do. And then you can try to copy it, but I can do it for you guys up in the water. So it goes like this. You either have your hands in front or on the side. You start with your shoulders and you basically make the body roll like this. And then your flipper goes up and down. Okay, so
Okay, so really like,
pretty straightforward. Okay, give it a whirl.
okay, so
So you start with your, yeah, you can use your hands as well. It helps to start the motion.
Okay, do I go on the stairs or can I just do it from here?
Okay, yeah, you can just do it from here. And I'll watch how it looks.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
Perfect! Yay! Really nice. Okay, one more time?
Yeah.
You can kick a little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit faster, because I see you are still trying to do a lot of work with your arms and your upper body, but you really have to start to use your feet a lot. That's going to be the most, usually with swimming it's mostly the arms. Now really try to utilize your legs. Okay. Here we go. Really good, really, really good. Yeah. So now you use your legs a lot more, which is perfect.
Yeah. I can feel it better now as well.
Yeah, yeah. In the end, the most ideal form is to use the entire body. So to find a balance with, to find a balance with diving down with your shoulders and going in the exact line up again, because now you are already bending your back when. Oh, it's hard to explain it. Sorry. So here also, if I show it exaggerated the way that it's not ideal, can I have the glasses? Oh yeah. This should be exaggerated the way it's not ideal. So you're actually making a little bit too many waves, and that's actually stopping your progress a little bit, because you want to finish the curve that you started.
Yeah.
So more ideal would be so basically a little bit slower.
Yeah, okay.
But it's already, you're already doing it perfectly, like
Yeah.
like it's
Okay, cool.
yeah.
All right.
Perfect. Yes, so good.
Nice.
All right. Well, I knew you were going to be super good at this because you're a mover. So she already has it down. So maybe with this leftover time, we can do some underwater movement exercises, because that's actually a little bit trickier almost than swimming or mermaiding. Because people's initial tendency, once they go underwater, is to calibrate, to swim, to move their arms with these little shovel hands, and to get themselves on the water, and to keep their torso in one spot. But you can't. The water, it makes you float. It makes you, it pushes you back, it pushes you forward. So you really want to release a little bit to where the water wants to take you. So what we do is we're going to go underwater. Since we are not wearing lead at the moment, actually we can use the lead belt, but we're not.
I can really feel it as well.
Yeah, we'll put the lead belt on you. But still you'll be very buoyant. So we're going to take half a breath of air. So you take a breath and release quite a bit of it, and still there will be enough to stay on the water for a bit, but it will help you remain on the water. So you're going to go down, and then you can use your shovel hands to get yourself down, but at one point you need to let go of the calibrating yourself on the water and just accept where you're going to go, and try to move in ultra slow motion. Really just go as soft as you possibly can. So I will let you go first. Just ride your breath and see how it goes.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Here, I'll give you the net. Hop, hop. On the ground, as little hands. So yeah, you can put this around you, and then there's a big rope. Okay. And if you want, you can put it underneath your tail, so you can know the nicer, but for now. Yeah, for now we're practice mode. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. Speaking, maybe if you go to the lights a bit more, but then we're further away from the camera. Yeah. Then they can see the world. Maybe it could be like here.
Mm-hmm.
Is that possible?
Yeah, because then the light will hit your side.
Okay, so I'm gonna breathe out and try to stay underwater and then hold.
Yeah, breathe out a little bit. Well, you can also take all your breath down, but if you don't, if you're right away bobbing up, then try to take half the breath and see a little bit how much you need. So you go down quite deep,
Yeah.
and then stop calibrating, stop swimming, and start posing and moving slowly.
Hold string in.
And yeah, very buoyant, huh? So that happens, you automatically go up right away because people are just very buoyant.
Yeah, I tried to stay still. I'm like, oh, I'm going right up.
Wait, I will show one more time how I do it. I will do that. I will take the
Oh man, it looks so cool.
Yeah, but you see, I'm not swimming, I'm not pushing myself left or right, I'm just being a little bit
dramatic with my hands.
Yeah.
I just need to try to stay down.
Yeah, so as you saw, I went down and then I was bobbing up and then I released a lot of my air and I dived down a bit more. Yeah. But for later we can use more breath, I think.
Okay.
Very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah. A little thing with the mermaid tail, you want to stay in plane and like this. Yeah, have the mermaid tail towards the left or towards the right, because most underwater lenses have a fish eye, because it needs to capture so much light. And of course, if you stick out your hand towards the fish eye, it will expand it. So if you have your knees or your flute towards the camera, it can be a nice effect as well, but it will blow it up a lot. Yeah. Okay. What time is it? Do we have more mermaid classes, or do we have to go to the next segment?
The PC is getting set up now, so save your thing.
Okay.
Yeah. A couple minutes. Just one more try on the poses.
Yeah. And now I'm gonna watch your face a bit more critically. Relax your face. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now you're swimming a lot.
Yeah. I was like, oh wait, I have to stay here.
Yeah, you go down first and try to stay in one spot, because usually the photographer has all the lights in one specific spot. So you cannot really move a meter forward or backwards.
Okay, let's try again.
Yeah, nice. You were buoyant, but you didn't swim, and that's nice. You were down, and then you just...
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna try to just like wave.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then-
that's the way to do it.
It's hard, everybody.
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks relaxed, but it's actually so that was it. Yay! Good job.
Yeah,
So proud of
thanks.
you.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. And then we're gonna answer a couple questions that people might have about learning how to mermaid or learning underwater posing, and then you can change into your epic tale.
Epic tale.
Right?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna put on the underwater feed from the other computer. So I'm gonna get out of the pool. You guys are gonna stick here a little bit, and then I'm gonna switch the stream to the underwater camera, and then you can see a beautiful show.
Yay! Thank you so much. You're welcome.